Red, blue, let's go, boys. Okay, guys, listen to me. I'll give you instructions, dress room, respect. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. Shake them up. Let's have a good fight. Good work.
Time for our first pay-per-view bout of the evening. You've got the world number 2, Kye Mackenzie, in against the undefeated Francis Chua. Mr. Frenzy, Kye Mackenzie in the solid black. And Chua, he has black with gold trim. An excitement machine, Kye Mackenzie. Chua, he's an unknown commodity. Unbeaten, though, at this stage of his professional boxing career. Ben Damon here in commentary. Alongside me is former world title challenger Kye Mackenzie. Kye, he might be special, Kye Mackenzie.
He is. I think he's very special. And we've got such a good, lightweights in this country. It's a good division. Ogilvy, Gambosa, Mackenzie, Darren Foley, guys like that. All are great fighters. We've got Chua here. He's only had 6-odd fights. I said, you're not worried about stepping up to face a guy like Mackenzie who's had 20-odd fights? He said, Mackenzie couldn't find an opponent, so I put my hand up. He's got no worries. Mackenzie, on the other hand, said, I'm coming to knock him out.
Yeah, that's his plan. Absolutely no doubt about that. He's got 6 rounds to do it, and the warning comes from Tony Kettlewell to Chua. There's been a few that have got through behind the head as he's looked to throw overhand shots, and Mackenzie just leads with a right hand of his own. His power shot gets through, but Chua is there to counter with his southpaw lead hand. Mackenzie on the inside does well, ties up, and Chua goes to work with those overhand shots that he seems to like, then digs downstairs as well. So good action here in the opening round of 6 between Mackenzie and Chua, as he now gets back on that power right-handers, Kye Mackenzie.
Chua's doing exactly what he needs to do. Just come in here and fight this man. He needs to make it a fight because he's not going to be able to outbox Kye Mackenzie, but maybe he can outfight him. He feels he can, but there's an old saying, a good boxer will always beat a good fighter. So we'll see tonight.
That right hands as a lead shot is being very damaging and successful in this opening round from Mackenzie. He's got through on a number of occasions. He rocks back and throws it again. And Chua, the southpaw, is just not seeing it coming at this stage. There's some swelling under and above the right eye of Mackenzie, but it's those right hands that are really starting to get through on Chua at this stage of this first round with 1 minute remaining here.
We've seen Kye Mackenzie lead in with that lead right hand, which is nice, but in my opinion, if you're going to lead with the right hand, you've got to do it a quick, sharp, not a heavy punch, so you can come back with the left hook, follow up with a combination. If you come heavy with that right hand lead and you miss, your opponent will be there to counter you, as Chua was those 3 times Kye Mackenzie threw it.
Chua just ducked in underneath one there from Mackenzie. Throws a few of his own, and there's that overhand left, but it's not thrown with a great deal of intent, but those are from Mackenzie. Big shots in this first round. Chua felt those. One of them thudded into the left side of his head, and now Chua goes back to work. He manages to get through the guard. He swings wildly with the right hand, but Mackenzie is out of there and out of trouble. He throws an overhand right of his own, but Chua leans in, throws that left to the body, and just takes a glance, he does, up at the clock. There's 10 seconds remaining here in this opening round, and that is the warning sound for that. Mackenzie goes back to work, a right hand straight through, and Chua gets back involved. Good action here at the end of the first round.
Sorry, Ben, he's just come to fight Chua, and that really is his only chance because he cannot outbox Kye Mackenzie, but he can outfight him.
Where's Jimmy? Water.
Here's some of the highlights from that opening round. We might tune in as well to the corner of Kye Mackenzie because there's just a little bark off above and underneath that right eye, which will provide some concern. But Carly, what did you see?
I saw here what I mentioned, that right-hand lead. It has to be like a trick shot so you can come back with something. If you do it too heavy, you get caught in there and your opponent is able to counter with you or stand there and trade with you. You've got to do that right-hand lead. You've got to do it quick and sharp and light.
Well, there you go, Kye Mackenzie, very keen to have a big drink there. He took hold of the bottle himself and poured it in. You don't often see that in a corner, particularly after round 1, but he was thirsty.
I've got to say, more. There's nothing worse than being in the corner and your coach gives you little sips. You want what you want a big gulp, you need a big gulp.
He's got the big gulp, and now he steps back out with some intent to centre ring, and Chua as well throws some good shots.
Now this is, styles make fights, and this is just 100% a boxer against a fighter, against a puncher.
Starting to move around a little more is the world number 2, Mackenzie.
Yeah, I believe movement is the key, Ben Damon, because the more he moves, the more he'll make Chua miss, and then he'll be able to capitalize on that. If he stands there and throws and just trades, he's giving Chua that opportunity to stand there and trade with him.
Yeah, he was happy to trade in round one, but now, obviously, lateral movement is something he's willing to adopt. He's taking a couple of shots, though, from Chua when he does stand in front, and then as Chua ducks in with the head, that one just skids past. And there's a nice jab, a nice long jab from Mackenzie, who goes back to work with that lead right hand again.
It was a nice jab, and we need, in my opinion, to see more of those jabs. He's a good boxer, he's a classy boxer, he's experienced, he needs to go back to boxing. Jabs, moves, you know, different angles, come with different punches, not stand there and exchange with Chua. Look how strong Chua is.
Nice hooking right hand there from Mackenzie. Yeah, Chua does have a nice build for a lightweight. He throws a nice uppercut on the inside too with his power hand, the left, and then Mackenzie gets back on that lead right hand. Removalist by trade is Chua. He spends his time lifting heavy things, and he's got a heavy thing in front of him in the form of world number 2, Kye Mackenzie, who digs in with that right hand again. He hooks it around and gets it around the guard and thuds into the side of Chua's head. Nice right hand again, just times one, and there's a good shot with the left from Chua as it's Mackenzie who looks up to see what time there is on the clock. And nice right hand from Chua, another one, and they like that in the corner of the Western Australian.
They do, and so they should, because Chua right now is able to make this fight the fight he wants. You know, one of the tricks in boxing is to make your opponent do what you want him to do, not what he wants to do. That's what I feel Chua is being able to do in this round here. He's able to make Kye Mackenzie stand there and fight with him.
There was a hope that this could be a fight between Kye Mackenzie and George Kambosos on this undercard, but a deal could not be reached, unfortunately. That would be a spectacular bout, but Mackenzie, as we said, he's looking even higher than that. Vasyl Lomachenko, pound-for-pound superstar. They're trying to get him to Australia. That would be a massive coup for Australian boxing. Let's hope that that does take place. But for now, he's got his hands full. Chua doing really well in the late stages of this second round. There's an uppercut from Mackenzie, but there were good shots from Chua, both over the top and downstairs as well. And they're coming from funny angles on Kye Mackenzie. Maybe he's just getting used to the southpaw.
Round 2. Okay, let's have a look. As Anthony Mundine, can you believe it, a 2-time world champion. No stretch limousine for Anthony. He drove up himself. He's driven his own car in tonight to Suncorp Stadium. He's driven in from South Bank, about half an hour away. Don't forget he's been training at the Logan Boxing Gym, which looks like an old garden shed. He's gone back Rocky IV style, if you like, to grassroots. He's really peeled all the trimmings of being a superstar. Look at him, nice and relaxed. He's ready to go. He's taken on the underdog status. This is a man who's made over $30 million, by the way. Not a bad underdog status, but he's really pushed the fact that Jeff Horn has been training at the state-of-the-art gym at Glenn Rushton's $10 million mansion house. So Anthony Mundine comes in. Have a look at him. He is just as cool as you like. Drove in, sat in his car, made a couple of calls, did some texting on his phone, put the phone away, and now he just strolls in, nice and easy, into his dressing room, ready to go. The hands will be taped. He'll have his way in shortly, drinking some water there, just hydrating up. But you've never seen a more relaxed man before a fight than Anthony Mundine at the moment. Back to the card.
He's very relaxed in his dressing room, always, is Anthony Mundine. Sometimes has a little snooze, in fact, before he comes out for his bouts. Let's see if that takes place tonight, but he does have that weigh-in, so maybe that'll keep him up. For now, though, we're watching Kye Mackenzie, the world number 2, against Francis Chua, who's undefeated in 6 fights and is doing a really good job in a fight that he's a big underdog in. Chua acquitting himself well against Mackenzie, who now takes a big right hand to the side of the head. Good stuff from Chua.
Chua's just making this a fight, and that's exactly what he needs to be doing. I mean, you know, we'd all love to. We've talked about that fight with Mackenzie and Kambosos. He's talking about bringing Lomachenko here. In all honesty, you know, there's nothing that we're seeing here from Mackenzie to warrant a fight with one of the greatest ever, Lomachenko. But it's still an early fight, and Chua's able, in my opinion, to make this fight the fight he wants it to be. A scrap.
His head very well there, did Chua, in a bad position, and they exchange well. The right-hand lead of Mackenzie is what he's looking to now, and he goes back to the body. Chua works on the inside, and there's significant swelling now underneath the right eye of Kye Mackenzie. He took something in the opening round which swelled him up a bit above and below, but now the bruising is really under that right eye. And Chua goes back to the body, has a deep breath and steps in as he's met with a big right hand from Kye Mackenzie, who tries to lead with it again, takes some shots as he gives them, and they meet up again and tangle, and there's that lead right hand again from Mackenzie.
I asked Chua at the weigh-in yesterday, are you worried about, you know, your opponent, what he brings? He goes, mate, I'm too old to worry. One good thing he said, boxing makes me a better person, and it helps me with my family because I become a better person. So far, what we see from Chua is good. You know, he's a good man, he's got good intentions, good motives, and he's come to fight. And he's able so far, Ben, to make this fight the fight he wants, a scrap.
Good shot there from Mackenzie. It was a left hook, and it was a wild one, but it got through, and they exchange again, and Chua gets it through, gets a few through. Then there's another good shot on Mackenzie from Chua.
What we've got here, Ben, is the boxer versus the fighter. And the old saying, you fight a boxer, you box a fighter. Chua is able to fight this boxer. Do you know what I mean? And the boxer, Kye Mackenzie, in my opinion, he's trying too hard to fight this fighter instead of boxing him.
I think movement might be the key for Kye Mackenzie. We saw early in round 2, he was on his toes, he was moving, providing some angles and trying to create opportunities. Now, he's just happy to stand there. He's happy to trade with Chua. Chua's doing a good job, though, punching from awkward angles to southpaw. And that's another tight round, an entertaining round, a round where both fighters had their moments. And there's that swelling on the other side of Kye Mackenzie's face. Here's some of the highlights from another action-packed round.
Chua just swings them in. Then we see Mackenzie, he's got pride. I mean, he's a tough guy, and if someone punches you, you want to punch back, but he needs to box this man. He needs to stand long, use his movement, use his angles, because Chua would love nothing more than to stand here all day, all night, toe-to-toe, and that's what's happening.
He takes another decent-sized sip of water there, does Kye Mackenzie.
When he's swinging like that, come up the middle on him, yeah? Yeah, I know. Good work.
There's no panic in the corner. There's that swelling I was talking about. Plenty of Vaseline all over it now. But it does provide something of a target for Chua. Mackenzie, heavily favoured in this bout. It's probably tougher than he thought. No panic in the corner, though. They're pretty content. They're pretty calm. They send him back out for round number 4 here. Kye Mackenzie in the solid black trunks with Mr. Frenzy across the front. And it is Chua, Francis Chua, the removalist from Western Australia. He wears the black with the gold, and he goes to work downstairs and over the top. And Mackenzie wore an uppercut there from the left hand. He wore a few more as well. Chua sits back, throws some big right hands, and Kye Mackenzie is taking heaps of shots.
You gotta love Francis Chua. Like I said, he's making this fight his own. He's coming here, standing centering, and he's fighting this man. Now, Mackenzie, he needs to box. So that's why his corner was calm, because they know what he can do. They know he is a good fighter, but he can't be standing there trading with this man, Chua, in my opinion.
He threw some big shots there to Chua. Plenty of them got through. A couple of them may have hurt Kye Mackenzie, but he's just run out of puff for this moment. And Mackenzie, he'll try and take his opportunity. A good, though, left hand it was from Chua as he got away. There's the lead right hand from Mackenzie. Chua winds up with his right hand. Mackenzie has a good look at his target, throws the right, but he ducks underneath it, does Chua.
Ben, I think if Chua can land one more big punch, Mackenzie will be in a lot of trouble. I don't think he recovered. I don't think he's recovered from that big barrage.
No, he's trying to clear. Chua, though, did take a lot of energy. And there's some big shots from Mackenzie now. He digs in with his right hand. Chua comes back. He digs deep. There's good shots. Mackenzie being forced back, taking punches. He digs in with the head, does Chua. He goes back to work. He gives himself some space and throws uppercuts. And they're back in this position where Chua had all that success earlier in the round. 1 minute remaining here in round number 4. This is a 6-rounder between the heavily fancied world number 2, Kye Mackenzie, who sits down on the uppercuts, and Francis Chua, a virtual unknown from Western Australia, who is punching well above his weight. He's doing a great job, particularly in this 4th round.
I've seen two fights of Chua, and it was exactly the same thing. Come in the middle and stand and deliver. And he's so strong, he's so determined, and he seems like a good guy. And here he is here, making this fight his own.
Just for a moment there, he glances away to look up at the screen and the time. Nearly took a shot as he did so. But Mackenzie, well, his head's still clearing after what he took. Some punishment here in round 4. Chua, he's tired. He's had enough for this round. And it's a dangerous situation for him to be huffing and puffing in front of Kye Mackenzie. He leans back, big shots from Mackenzie. 10 seconds left in this round. Chua is there to be hit. He digs into the body, digs over the top. Mackenzie throws the right hand. He steps back though, Mackenzie doesn't have the strength to throw the big shot, and Francis Chua was out of puff, but he gets out of the round, a round that he won pretty decisively. Some really good exchanges.
Get no fucking answers when you're on him. When you're on him, don't stop, he'll fucking drop. Breathe.
Gotta land that big shot, man. Constantly.
This is what that was, that barrage. There was those body shots, and somewhere in here there was a big hook to the head that landed. And for mine, Kye Mackenzie was almost gone. This is why we love boxing, Ben Damon. Look at these two just standing, centering. Chua making it a fight.
You turn that switch on now. When you're on him, you breathe, explode, breathe, explode. He only started lifting when you stop fucking working.
And your hands are down. They're going to call it the fight.
It's like that.
Seconds out for round 5.
Explode. Take him out this fucking round. Don't leave it to the 6th.
Well, those instructions are very clear to Francis Chua.
5 time.
Come here.
They were very clear.
Threw so many shots
There, boys, okay?
in
No
that
good.
4th round. A warning on the run here from Tony Kettlewell.
What I noticed, Ben Damon, is that when Mackenzie recovered from their barrage and Chua started getting tired, Mackenzie went back to being a little bit more of a boxer, as he's doing now. And this will favour him. If he can box and move, make Chua miss, the fight will turn dramatically.
He's a fit guy, no doubt, is Francis Chua. He's just had the 6 professional bouts at 33 years of age. He's getting to the tough stage of this fight. He's done exceptionally well. He had a big 4th round. Let's see what Kye Mackenzie can do here in round number 5. Can he box again? Can he bring some energy back to the fight? Because Chua it is who's throwing the shots again.
You see, well, even when Mackenzie's hurt, he knows what to do. He starts throwing light punches and sharp punches and moves. It's a sign of a boxer, an experienced boxer. That's what he needs to do the whole fight. He doesn't need to be standing toe-to-toe with this strong man, Chua.
Digs into the body, does Chua. Now he reaches out. Mackenzie gets in tight, tries to shove him off, but he's strong. Is Chua. There's a shot on the way in from Chua. He throws a lead power hand, and then there's a couple that get through again, and Mackenzie was rocked again, I think.
Chua needs to stay composed and just find that one good punch. He needs to stay nice and relaxed, get himself in position, either lead with it or counter, doesn't matter, but he needs to stay nice and relaxed, composed, bang, land that shot. He doesn't need to be swinging from out long and looking for it.
Good jabs and straight shots there from Mackenzie. Chua just gives himself a breather again. He sucks in some air. Now Mackenzie goes to work. Chua goes to work as well on the inside. There's a nice right hand from Mackenzie and one from Chua as well. Now they have space. Good shots from Chua as he walks in towards Mackenzie.
He walks in and he's wide open as he walks in, and this is what Kye Mackenzie needs to use his experience and take advantage of. He needs to step back, throw the uppercut, catch this man coming in. And
He's
then
struggling to
on
find his
toes.
target. Chua ducking the head as he comes in towards him and throwing those shots over the top, and Mackenzie hasn't been able to punch down and find him. There's space here again. Mackenzie brings the guard down, then throws a couple of light right hands. Then there's that overhand from Chua, who ducks again. Digs to the body, does Chua. Swings a big one, and he's there to be hit now. Mackenzie, though, can't follow up his right hand.
The thing with Chua, he knows one way. That's punch, with every punch, 100%. He needs to lighten up a few, use a bit of a jab, a bit of movement, choose his heavy shots. But hey, he's in there having a go, and God bless him.
He's having a good go too, is Francis Chua. Digging in is Mackenzie. Chua comes back and leans in, throws something, throws to the body now. Mackenzie punches down again. And we'll head into the corners. There's a little bit of concern there in the Mackenzie corner. I see his manager, Matt Rose, heading over to give his advice.
It's close, okay? It's close. We need to fucking knock him out this round. We need to knock him out this round. We need this. We need to knock out. Knock him out. I need to throw anything. Last round, I need to throw everything at him. You can't fucking use this one, right? You need to throw everything at him. This is everything you got. This is everything, right? Everything you got, right? Let your hands go, right? Make him miss. You're the fucking champ, mate. You're the champ. Get out there. Set everything up, fight at range, don't fight in close, don't let him swing. And when you go down the centre every time, okay?
Seconds out for the 6th and final round.
Instructions to world number 2, Kye Mackenzie, here against the unknown Francis Chua are you need a last round knockout to win this fight. Kye Mackenzie, well, is it all on the line here in round 6 of 6 at Suncorp Stadium? Mackenzie, he wants to fight Vasyl Lomachenko. He wants a world title shot. He's the world number 2. Francis Chua, with 6 professional bouts, is giving him everything he can handle. He wants a knockout, does Mackenzie.
Yep. His corner also said punch straight down the middle. They want the straight punches. They want the boxing, the in and out, the straight punches. Chua just needs to keep doing what he's doing, which is land heavy punches.
Digs into the body as Kye Mackenzie, and Chua right there at awkward angles again, throwing downstairs, hooking over the top, in and out. Body shots Mackenzie. Chua just putting them out there at the moment. There's not much on these. He hooks one around with his left hand and with his right. Mackenzie misses a short right hand on the inside and goes back to work, punching down on the ducking Chua again, who throws that lead hand. He moves out of the way of another, does Chua.
That's the experience.
Digs in well. That's a good shot from Mackenzie. Chua felt that.
He did, and that's the experience of Mackenzie. Even though he's tired and taking some big shots, he's able to keep his hands moving. He's able to keep punching at all times, and that creates opportunities. Chua, he comes in spurts, and he comes in spurts of heavy punches, and if they don't land, he's going to tire.
There's an overhand right that just hooked into the side of the head and the neck of Chua, and it hurt him as well, but he couldn't follow it up, Mackenzie, and Chua, he's cleared. He takes another of that same spot. He throws a wild shot downstairs with less than 90 seconds remaining in this fight now. Mackenzie, he's not able to provide himself with the space that he needs. Now he does, as Chua just stands there and wears one.
Chua's tired, but he's still continuing. He's a fighter, and he just knows one way. Let's fight, you know?
Good shots, Chua.
And when those punches
Good shots
land,
again from Chua.
when those punches land from the removalists, they have effect.
Uppercut from Chua. Mackenzie inside, trying to time his opponent. They say he needs a knockout. He hasn't looked close in this round so far. Can he find that big right hand that he needs? Kye Mackenzie at the moment, he's taking shots. He takes another from Chua. He takes yet another overhand right. And then an uppercut. He's against the ropes and he turns and throws a right hand of his own. A lazy shot comes from Chua.
Chua's strong, but he doesn't know little things like the distance, how to get in on his opponent's chest to stop punches coming at you. He doesn't know these things. All he knows is stand there and throw heavy punches.
Mackenzie just finds himself square on, can't throw with power. Throws that right hand, gives himself space, and it's Chua that uses it with the right hand. Mackenzie, he's out on his feet.
We've got
he
10
digs in the
seconds.
body and misses. Chua goes downstairs and over the top. Mackenzie finishes it with shots, but it's Chua, fittingly, with that overhand right that finishes 6 fantastic rounds of boxing here at Suncorp Stadium. Is it an upset? Has Francis Chua done the unthinkable and upset the world number 2, Kye Mackenzie? Or does he get out of trouble? Does he get away with one here at Suncorp Stadium? There's so much on the line. They want to bring Vasyl Lomachenko, the pound-for-pound superstar, to Australia. That all goes out the window if he doesn't get the result here. As I said before the fight, Kye Mackenzie went to the world #2 lightweight with the WBO this week.
70.
I mean, to talk about Lomachenko, there's a lot of fights here in Australia that can be made with Kye Mackenzie. You know, a lot of good home fights that, I mean, it's no joke, he needs some improvement to fight a guy like Lomachenko. We can see
Here's
here
the action from a tired but a tough final round of 6 between Mackenzie and Chua.
Tough, determined Chua that is a removalist. I've worked as a removalist. Doesn't matter how tired you are, you just got to keep on lifting. What a good fight. And a good fight from Chua.
A cheerio given there from Francis Chua just earlier to his wife. No doubt watching at home. Should be pretty proud too, because he's done a great job as Francis Chua. You can see the marks on the face under both eyes there of Kye Mackenzie. He came into this fight a heavy favourite. Plenty expected it to not go too many rounds. They thought that Mackenzie's class would tell quickly against Chua. But what's happened is maybe we've unearthed a tough young man, the 33-year-old removalist. He's still talking to the camera as well. He likes the limelight. And there may be more to come.
Second and third shot.
We're waiting on these scores.
Yeah, I know. I was just ticking. He was cool.
Well, it's a tight one, but there were some rounds early on that could have gone either way. Chua had his moments as we got later in the fight. He had Mackenzie hurt at times. Mackenzie's corner told him heading into round 6 of 6 that he needed a knockout.
Needed a knockout.
Were they right? Well, we're about to find out. And here are the scores with Lieutenant Dan Hennessy, Kye Mackenzie, Francis Chua. What does the future hold for Mackenzie?
Too tough for young good, you boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we please have a round of applause for these two fighters? That was the fight of the night thus far. Fantastic. After 6 rounds of professional lightweight boxing action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Judge Holliday scores the contest 58-56 Mackenzie. Judge Burford scores the contest 59-56 Chua. And Cyril Collins scores the contest 58-56 for your winner by split decision. Fighting out of the blue corner, Francis Chua!
Oh, brother! Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you.